I'm Colonel Rose Caravori and a good friend of Noble's, and Noble asked me to talk about 3 takeaways for budding leaders and senior leaders. So I've seen previous iterations of what other leaders have told you, and I don't necessarily want to reiterate what they've already said. They've got some great advice. So I'm not going to sit here and talk about mission command. What I'd like to do is give you 3 things you might not have heard of yet, and 2 sort of actionable things that you could take away and actually implement today. So 3 things. Number 1, trust your instinct. Number 2, what is your morning routine? Be ruthless in your execution of a morning routine. And then 3rd, surround yourself with the right people. So those are the 3 things I want you to take away from this. All right, so number 1, trust your instinct. The last boss I worked for, this was the first thing he would say on his sort of stump speech when he would talk about leadership, and it sort of took me by surprise at the beginning. When you think about trusting your instincts, especially as an MI person myself, when we brief a commander what the intelligence picture looks like, it's built off of very deliberate data, that an intelligence that has been processed and exploited and analyzed. So it's typically based off of information that and a commander's making a decision on that information. But at the same time, you still have an instinct or a gut instinct on what the enemy might do or is most likely going to do. And so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about an instinct either in business or in the military, where you have honed your instinct for interrelational issues, for decisions that have to be made. And that's something that's honed through your time as a leader. And that's something that you should think about, trusting your instincts. Okay, number 2, a morning routine. Again, my former boss was ruthless in his execution of a morning routine every morning. He would wake up at 4:30 every morning and go on a long run, regardless if we had 3 hours of sleep or if we had 5 or 6 hours of sleep. Whether we were jet lagged after a 19-hour trip to the Middle East or not, it didn't matter. Just ruthless in his morning routine. Most of you carry some type of journal, writing device, whatever. Mine's a bullet journal in MI Blue, of course. And I carry with me what I do for my morning routine. So these are laminated because I like to take these out when I go to the field. But for my morning routine, what I do, I follow a Tony Robbins model. You could follow what you want. But for mine, I pretty much have listed out my identity, what my code of conduct is, what my physiology is, reminder of what my beliefs are, focus, my language, because it's important to be meticulous with your language, incantations, and this is their model, so this is what I do. As well as a daily plan, which includes my goals and my action plan for them. Whether you do this by month or whether you do it, quarterly for your goals, it doesn't matter. It's the intent is that you have a morning routine that you are very deliberate about, despite jet lag, despite being tired, whatever it is, it's something that you go to. And it's just as important as morning PT. That's how I view it. I actually have these recorded, so when I do want to go on a long run and I don't want to sit down and read them, I actually listen to them before I listen to anything else. As I was saying, it's just as important to be deliberate about morning physical fitness, whatever it happens to be. And this is mental PT. So you're preparing yourself to put yourself in a state for your day. And that's what that is, your deliberate morning routine. I think I've done that for the last 10 years. And again, it's just something that you make routine. And 3rd, I said, surround yourself with right people. So let's talk about peers, coaches, and mentors. So when I say surround yourself with the right people, that in no way does that mean that you banish friends that have different thoughts from you, either politically, socially, or otherwise. That's not what I'm saying. You want to actually have diversity of thought in your friends. You want to have people who challenge you. So what I'm saying is you want to be deliberate about the friends who will raise you up and not those who will bring you back down. Think of it as a rheostat, a thermostat. Some people are very used to having the temperature be 68 degrees. Anything that makes it go higher, 72, 73, they're going to bring back whatever they could do, whatever they can to bring that temperature back down to 68. It's the same principle when a peer group, when someone emerges from a peer group and there are others who want to bring that person back down sort of to that level of that peer group. So what you want to do is make sure that you aren't sabotaging yourself or even your peer group isn't sabotaging yourself. Mentors and coaches. I've had a coach. I went again specifically to a Tony Robbins coach that I've had for the last 10 years. I think the first time I had one was when I deployed to Iraq in 2007, 2008 timeframe. And what I found is we all need coaches for different areas of our life. I use that coach not only for not obstacles, but challenges that I've had in command at different levels. I was a major, just pinned on major at the time, and I've used her even last year. So from major to colonel, all of the leadership issues, concerns from any small organization leadership to mid-sized organizational leadership, etc. And because I'm also a business owner in the private sector, I've used her for coaching me even in my private job. So what they do is they are able to, a coach is able to see the bigger picture, see where your challenges are, and help you surmount those challenges. So I would say don't shy away from a coach. And I think some people may look down upon that because they think, it might be like a psychologist. That's not it at all. And coaches are different from mentors. So I would say for mentors, you want to have various different mentors for different areas of your life. People who have gone through the challenges that you have and could mentor you through, again, any obstacle, any challenges that you may have. When I deployed to Afghanistan as a senior captain in 2006, I met a colonel who is working out there. And again, I essentially have asked my mentors through working issues out with them, they become mentors that way, maybe unknowingly on their end, but certainly they brought a lot of benefit. And likewise, they've sought my advice on issues that they were curious about. So when I was in Afghanistan, senior captain, I approached a colonel and I would just work out, issues of my debt at the time. 12 years later, that colonel is now a 3-star Corps commander, and we are still in contact. And he helps me work through the issues that I have now as a brigade commander. So when I reach out, and I think it's that trust and that relationship, openness that you're trying to establish with a mentor. And likewise, they should be able to reach back down to you and ask you questions and advice on how to deal with issues they may not necessarily have, their finger on the pulse. So. And then again, I would say don't find a mentor that looks like you, thinks like you, is in your same branch, does the same business. For business, you may want, if you're either in profit and loss management, if you are business development or in capture, you may want people in those different lines of businesses that can help you work through how to be a better business development person, how to capture for proposals even better, because they have a different viewpoint and they're more senior. So same thing, whether in business or in the military, you want someone who's going to be able to see the bigger picture, see strategically, and guide you through that process. So 3 things again, just to reiterate: trust your instincts. 2, be deliberate and ruthless about a morning routine. Set yourself up for success for the day. And 3, surround yourself with the right people. That means peers, mentors, and coaches. So that's all I've got.